of our vast province. This is to ensure that we keep bringing the legislature closer to the people of the Northern Cape. Honorable members, I want to welcome all our dignitaries. Welcome to the Deputy Chairperson of the NCOP that have just entered, Honorable Sylvia Lucas. A warm welcome to yourself, Honorable Premier, Dr. Zamani Saul, members of the Executive Council present. Also, a warm welcome to all our leaders of the different political parties within the legislature. The leader of the official opposition party, Honorable McLuha, from the Democratic Alliance. Also, warm welcome to our Judge President. It's also in our midst. The Provincial Commissioner is also in our midst, Provincial Service Commissioner. And to all our dignitaries in the House. Guests, I just want to plead with you to uphold the decorum of this House. We are only having one order for the day, and that is the State of the Province address that will be delivered by the Honorable Premier, Dr. Zamani Saul. Members and guests, can we please switch off all our communication equipment, such as our cell phones? I would then also like to call on members and invited guests not to converse aloud or behave disorderly during the Premier State of the Province address. With this said, honorable members, all our guests, I want to welcome you in the Namakwa district to this important event. Who's listening in on the various community radio stations. We are live streaming on Facebook and Instagram. So a word of welcome to our viewers and listeners on the virtual and social media platforms. Honorable members and guests, I will allow the media to take photos during the first 10 minutes of the Premier's State of the Province address. The broadcaster may remain in attendance without interference with the proceedings of this House. Honorable members, in terms of Rule 14.2, I received communication from the Premier that the legislature of the province of the Northern Cape be summoned to assemble in order to enable him to deliver his State of the Province address on the 2nd day of March 2023. In terms of Section 110, subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, read with Rule 14 of the Standing Rules of the Northern Cape Provincial Legislature. No other business will be dealt with, and that only the annual address, the State of the Province address, that will be delivered by the Honorable Premier will happen then today. Honorable members, I will then now invite the Honorable Premier, Dr. Zamani Saul, to deliver the State of the Province address to this House. Thank you, Honorable Premier.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker of the Northern Cape Provincial Legislature, Ms. Nurin Cluster. Let me also take this opportunity to greet our Deputy Speaker, Mr. Mangaliso Matika. The Deputy Chairperson of the NCOP is also here, Ms. Sylvia Lucas. I also noted that we also have our Deputy Ministers, Elvin Bottas, and Deputy Minister Nokolo Kivit. Let me also take this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, to greet my colleagues, the members of the Northern Cape Provincial Executive Council, and also let me greet members of the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces, who made it to be part and parcel of this very esteemed gathering in our beautiful province. Let me also greet members of the Northern Cape Provincial Legislature and as well as leaders of the opposition. Let me give my special greeting to the leader of opposition, Date Meklua, and also greet the leader of Freedom Front Plus, Dani, and the leader of the EFF, Shadrach Shaul. Members of the diplomatic corps who have joined us virtually, you are greeted. And let me as well greet our Judge President of the Northern Cape High Court Division, Judge Pule Tlaletsi, the Consul General of Russia, Mr. Malenko, is also here. And let me greet the heads of state security services, Chairperson of the South African Local Government Association in the Northern Cape. I saw him, he also joined our event. Let me greet the mayors and councillors, our traditional leaders, and heads of the state institutions supporting our constitutional democracy. I saw the Provincial Commissioner, Public Service Commissioner in the Northern Cape, has also joined us, and I saw some delegations from the Office of the Auditor General, and they are also welcomed. And I had a request that I extended to him that he must give us clean audits for the financial year 2023-2024. Let me also, Chair and Honorable Speaker, take this opportunity to greet the Director General and the heads of government and all government officials from the Northern Cape Provincial Legislature. I saw the Provincial Secretary of the ANC is also here, Comrade Deshi, and I greet him with all leaders of political parties. And let me greet the leaders of the alliance partners. I saw Reshushu, who's coming from the SACP, and I was also glad to saw a contingent from COSATU that is also part and parcel of these engagements. Let me greet the business leaders that were invited to come and join us today, and as well as members of the media, distinguished guests, and fellow citizens of the Northern Cape, the Northern Capers. My speciale gasten is Tannie Esther Stander en Jeremy de Vier, albei van Calvinia School. Ek hoop hulle is hier. Ek hoop hulle is hier. Jeremy de Vier is the cleaner there. He is the cleaner at Calvinia High School. And Tannie Esther, she's, wat noem hulle dit nou weer? 'n koshuismoeder. So I've decided to invite them to be part and parcel of these engagements. I met them yesterday when I visited the school. Extraordinary work that they are doing. Calvinia High School has got about 230 learners, and it's got only one cleaner. Maar die skool is vir jou skoon. And let me also take this opportunity to greet our mayor of this town, Madam Olaine. I met her this morning en ek het vir haar gesê, jou dorp is skoon. En sy moet die dorp so hou, sy moet die dorp skoon hou. That's just the basic thing that any municipality could do, keeping the town clean. And let me also greet the executive mayor of the district and the members of the mayoral committee that have joined us. Mr. Mervyn Kloete. Ladies and gentlemen, alvorens ek my provinsiale redes aan julle voordra, wens ek graag my waardering aan u uit te spreek, om dit hier in Calvinia te kan doen. Dames en here, ons is vandag hier by mekaar in Calvinia, Hantam Municipality, in die noordwestelike hoek van die provinsie, in die Namakwa. Hantam is 'n Khoisan naam, wat beteken berge waar die bolle groei. Die Kham en Sandstam was die eerste mense wat die land bewoon het. Dames en here, julle sal ook opgemerk het dat die provinsiale regering die afgelope dae baie teenwoordig was in die streek om aan te vul wat ons reeds op 'n gereelde basis doen en wat ons mandaat vereis. Ons moet doen. Ek is ook baie bly om aan te kondig dat in ons strewe om die provinsie te moderniseer, het ons graad 12 leerlinge met e-tablette begin voorsien wat gelaai is met wêreldklas studiemateriaal. Die tabletprojek vir graad 12 is hierdie week in Francis Bart streek geloods. En ons het alreeds aan 5 skole in die Hantam e-tablette voorsien. Die res van die tablette sal nou in Maart aan alle graad 12 leerders versprei word. Hier in die provinsie het ons 13.500 graad 12's. Hierdie belegging van meer as 80 miljoen rand is gedoen om die kwaliteit van onderwys te verbeter en die gebruik van tegnologie te normaliseer. Ek is optimisties dat hierdie belegging in ons jong mense die goeie uitslag sal lewer. In Williston het ons 'n projek gaan loods van 150 huise om tydelike en moderne strukture te vervang. En sodoende die waardigheid van ons mense te herstel en vervul. Ek is ook bly, dames en here, om aan te kondig dat in ons poging om gesondheidsdienste te verbeter, het ek ook 'n reaksie tyd gehad vanoggend wat ons addisionele ambulanse afgelewer wat die mense van Namakwa streek sal bedien. Die departement het 49 ambulanse gekoop en 10 pasiëntvoertuie gekoop. As pasiënt-passasiersvoertuie gekoop. So goed is sal verbeter en vernaam hier in Namakwa. Ek wil ook die gemeenskap aanmoedig om probleme of ontevredenheid oor ambulansdienste onder die aandag van die departement van gesondheid te bring. Daar word wet bespiegel dat hierdie dienste nou eers gelewer word omdat provinsiale staatsrede nou hier plaasvind. Maar ek kan u verseker dat dit nie die geval is nie. Elke dag, maandag tot vrydag, ontvang kinders onderrig in onze skole. Elke dag word gesondheidsdienste gelewer in die streek. Elke maand op die regte tyd en plek ontvang mense hulle se maandelikste toelaag sonder om enige een van ons te herinner dat dit tyd is daarvoor nie. Elke dag het ons munisipale en ander staatsdienste in ons gemeenskap en elke dag voorsien hierdie regering vervoer en ten minste een voedsame maaltyd aan ons leerlinge. Dames en here, die provinsiale regering is deeglik bewus van die waternood as gevolg van die droogte in die Hantam district. Die lae reënval in die district het 'n negatiewe impak op die munisipaliteit se kapasiteit om water te voorsien. Die regering gee aandag aan hierdie probleem en ek kan vandag met trots aankondig dat 'n projek van ongeveer 180 miljoen rand die probleem van waterbeperking hok sal slaan. Met die opgradering en beligging kom ook baie werksgeleenthede wat die mense van die Hantam streek sal bevoordeel. Ek wil dan namens die provinsiale regering en wetgewer ons dank uitspreek aan die gemeenskap van Calvinia en die omliggende dorpe vir julle vriendelikheid waarmee hierdie verrigtinge vandag kan geskied. Ladies and gentlemen, this year marks a decade since the passing of the father of the post-apartheid democracy, former President Nelson Mandela in 2013. He was this iconic leader who ratified our country's first democratic constitution that gave birth to the new South Africa. That historic signature brought with it a constitutional pledge for a democratic, non-racial, non-sexist, and prosperous South Africa. It is therefore appropriate that the world leaders at the Nelson Mandela Peace Summit declared 2019 to 2028 as the Nelson Mandela Decade of Peace. We recall the sacrifice of our struggle heroes such as Chief Albert Luthuli, Oliver Tambo, Nelson Mandela, Winnie Mandela, Charlotte Maxeke, Sophie de Bruyn, Brian Hermanas, and many other heroes and martyrs of our struggle. The theme for this State of the Province address is building a provincial roadmap for decisive action through resilience, hard work, and progress. Standing before you today, in my capacity as the Premier, I have responsibility to reflect on the state of the province. It is clear from the SONA 2023 and other policy documents that the execution of our priority service delivery areas for 2023 are, let me just mention them, energy security, climate change, and a just transition. Number 2 is fighting poverty, unemployment, and inequality. And number 3 is infrastructure development. And number 4 is fighting crime and corruption. Number 6 is skills development, localization, and investment. In the State of the Nation address this year, the President, His Excellency, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, raised the importance of social compacting of our priority areas. Each one of us in the province has an important role to play in achieving the objectives stated above for a better life for all. Madam Speaker, little did I know that soon after my inaugural address in 2019, that COVID-19 would be sweeping across the globe, the country, and every corner of our province, where the poorest of the poor were left the most vulnerable. Honorable members, as you know, we had to reprioritize a huge portion of our budget to support the most vulnerable of our communities. COVID-19 rushed all of us into a new digital era, which required new systems and structures such as e-health, e-education, and e-government. We did not let a crisis go to waste. Honorable members, 3 years back, we made a commitment to drive the modernization program in the province. Last year, we stated how access to World Wide Web can enhance the provision of government services, including e-health, e-education, and e-government. At that time, we started the development of a provincial broadband strategy. I am now happy to report that our broadband strategy will be in full swing through its prioritized building blocks for implementation starting on the 1st of April 2023. We know that a provincial broadband network is a digital highway. In the past year, we had significant investment in broadband infrastructure deployed by both Vodacom and MTN. Madam Speaker, Vodacom Central Region has invested 230 million rand in our province this financial year to expand the broadband coverage in deep rural areas, upgrading base station sites and network resilience. Madam Speaker and honorable members, MTN also built 5 new connectivity sites for the Northern Cape. This year, MTN is planning to build 25 new connectivity sites and modernize 48 sites in our province at an estimated cost of 180 million. Madam Speaker and honorable members, in total, Vodacom and MTN will invest about 410 million rand this financial year in our province. These investments will ensure connectivity for all and drive inclusive digital access in the province. Connectivity and inclusive digital access are the central pillars for modernization of our province. Madam Speaker, SA Connect project will implement 1,599 sites for phase 2 over the next 3 years in clinics and schools in our province. This will expand access to internet services and improve the efficiency of public services. These initiatives lay bare the ground for much complex domain of the 4th industrial revolution, such as artificial intelligence. One of the objectives, one of the pillars of this 6th administration that we mentioned in 2019, we said we must modernize the Northern Cape if we want to derive the full benefits of the 4th industrial revolution. We can't speak of the 4th industrial revolution if people of the Northern Cape do not have simple access to internet and network. So these are massive investments to ensure that doesn't matter where you are located in this province, deep rural areas like Yeningsvlei, you must have seamless access to internet, seamless access to network, and be able to interact with the world. Madam Speaker and honorable members, our project for a digital to-song service center model app has been conceptualized. This app will take government services to your cell phone. We are quite excited to start the development of this app. The Office of the Premier, together with the Center for Public Service Innovation, is driving this initiative. I am happy to announce that the appointment of software developers at the CPSI is at a final stage. Honorable members, as part of modernizing the province and our education sector, the plans on the expansion of broadband connectivity is on track. All public, ordinary, and special needs education schools are provided with routers and receive 3 gigabytes of data on a monthly basis to facilitate their connectivity for administration. This remains a temporary measure, given the fact that connectivity at schools is not only needed for administration purposes, but more so for teaching and learning. In view of Cabinet approval of the revised model of South Africa Connect, Phase 2, and its implementation, the department has been engaging different role players to ensure that all Northern Cape public schools are connected during this second phase of SA Connect. It should be noted that government investment of the grade 12 education tablets is part of rolling out our e-learning support strategy for this year. These tablets are loaded with EduKite software, which can be accessed anytime, anytime and free of data costs. More intensive support will be provided to schools in line with the whole school development approach, which will focus on school management development, teacher development, infrastructure support, and parental involvement. These are some of the critical pillars needed to improve learner outcomes and school performance. Ladies and gentlemen, and honorable speaker, indeed, the fourth industrial revolution is transforming the provision of health services and medicine. These scientific and technological advances promise to yield a breakthrough diagnosis and therapies, including precision medicine and medical cures. These technologies, advancement will transform public health. The implementation of phase 2 of our digital patient record system will continue in 2023 with the digitization of the existing files in selected facilities. Honorable Speaker, the implementation of improved systems as well as IT systems and connectivity has also contributed to the implementation of the Bokamoso digital health strategy. This enabled John Taulogaitsiwe region to improve connectivity in facilities from 30% to around 70%. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the implementation of the digital call centers for EMS in partnership with Vodacom in Uppington and Kimberley has seen drastic increase in the number of calls from an average of 3,000 calls to 10,000 calls per month. We also note the improvement from 45% to 85% in the management of calls for ambulances. I just want to explain this point. From every 100 calls calling for ambulance response, 85 of those people got ambulances. I'm certain this is the highest in the country, which is an improvement from 45% to 85%. So if 100 people phone now requesting for ambulances, 85 of the 100 will get ambulances. That's a major achievement in improving quality of public health. Honorable Speaker, government in conjunction with the World Health Organization has established the Health Informatics Unit and the Provincial Health Emergency Operations Center. This will help to improve health management data analysis, planning, emergency, and disaster response. The official launch will be on the 23rd of March 2023. This will be the first of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa, not only in South Africa, but in sub-Saharan Africa. First of its kind in the Northern Cape. Madam Speaker, according to Stats SA, quarterly labor force survey for quarter 4, 2022, 12,000 jobs were gained between the third quarter and the fourth quarter of 2022. The total number of persons employed now in the province is 336,000, highest number of employed people in the Northern Cape. In the history of the Northern Cape, there's never been 336,000 people employed. It's for the first time. Accordingly, the number of unemployed persons in the Northern Cape decreased by 116,000 to 95,000. The above changes in employment and unemployment in the province resulted in the official unemployment rate decreasing by 4.3 percentage points from 26.4% in the third quarter to 22.1% in the first quarter of 2022. Honorable Speaker, these are the lowest unemployment figures in the province in 14 years and directly correlates to the more than 25% increase in our gross domestic product per region, from 96 billion in 2019 to 124 billion in 2022. I just have to explain this point again. In terms of official unemployment, the province has got the lowest in the country. Lowest in the country. For 2022, we managed to beat the Western Cape, which used to have the lowest unemployment in 3 quarters of 2022. In 3 quarters of 2022. So we've got unemployment figures in the province. Unemployment figures in the province which we last had 14 years back. Honorable members, now we have the lowest official unemployment rate in the country. The expanded unemployment rate is also on the decrease by 1.9 percentage points to 44%. The unemployment rate by sex or gender in the Northern Cape shows that female unemployment rate is lower than the male unemployment rate. This is the only province in the country where female unemployment rate is lower than that of males. So daar's geen ander provinsie in die land. In al die ander provinsies, daar's meer vroumense wat werkloos is as mans. In die Noord-Kaap, daar's meer vroumense wat werk as mans. Nowhere else in the country, only here in the Northern Cape. Honorable members, it is also worth noting that the province has the lowest unemployment rate amongst the youth at 30.1%. We have made these strides despite the challenges posed by the intermittent load shedding. Madam Speaker, we remain determined to continue to break the back of persistent challenge of youth unemployment. The MEC responsible for youth, women, disability, communication, and e-government will assemble an expert team that will assist us to come up with district-based interventions to tackle youth unemployment. Furthermore, Honorable Speaker, the MEC will interface, facilitate, and coordinate extension of youth service centers across the province, youth social cohesion, youth economic empowerment, and youth health initiatives with all relevant sector departments and the private sector. There's an announcement that will be made by the MEC of Finance. I don't want to take up his task, but this year we are going to embark on extraordinary measures to get our young people into employment. And as government, we are going to lead that initiative by investing hundreds of millions into it. We are not going to wait for the private sector. We expect this team that will work with the new MEC to conclude their work by August this year so that our focus moves towards practical implementation of their recommendations. Madam Speaker, through collaborative efforts, a total of 11,852 unemployed young people benefited from the skills development programs, such as internships, learnerships, apprenticeships, artisanship, work integrated learning and skills program. Furthermore, the provincial government has entered into a multi-year partnership with MLab South Africa for the provision of training of young people. The program is designed to help participants to acquire the much needed skills such as building WordPress webs, social media marketing, and develop mobile apps that will be tested via the youth service centers. Honorable Speaker and gentlemen, we have also seen an increase in the number of students opting for vocational education through the increased enrollment on our TVET colleges. A total of 11,897 students have enrolled to study in various programs on offer at the TVET colleges within the province. The Namakwa Rural TVET College has been accredited as a trade test center for engineering trades. This will provide an opportunity for apprentices to be certified as artisans. In terms of the expanded public works program, 65,570 work opportunities were created. And this year, a total of 7,000 education assistant and general school assistant will be appointed in phase 4 of the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative. This Presidential Youth Employment Initiative really assists us to absorb young people into gainful employment. And for the financial year 2023-2024, we are going to absorb 7,000 young people. Honorable Speaker, it is collectively these interventions that have made a positive impact on the reduction of provincial unemployment rate, especially amongst young people. Honorable Speaker, it is also important to note that all provincial departments have deployed capacity to pay correct invoices within 30 days, except for the Department of Health, which has managed to reduce the waiting time from 92 days to 46 days. This is a positive development for our small businesses. So for all our small business people, when you submit your invoices, correct invoices, because people like to take government for a ride. People like to take government for a ride. If you submit correct invoices, your payment must be dispensed within 30 days. Honorable Speaker, the frequent load shedding is an impediment to conducting business in South Africa. There were some of my colleagues who did not know what load shedding is in Afrikaans. It's beerdkrag. So I said to one of them, die beerdkrag veroorsaak probleme. Hy said, wat se beerdkrag is dit nou daar? I said, it's load shedding. Similarly, challenges in the transportation system limit the economic benefits from the commodity boom. Rising inflation hurts the purchasing power of low-income households and negatively affect the country's competitiveness and financing costs. With all these challenges, the provincial economy grew by 2% in 2022. For 2023, the provincial economic growth projection is standing at 2.7%, which is higher than the growth projection of the country, which is 1.6%. Madam Speaker, infrastructure investment is the backbone of a thriving economy. Through the implementation of an integrated infrastructure growth path, the province will be able to improve socio-economic conditions of the residents of the Northern Cape. The infrastructure expenditure for the last 3 financial years amounted to about 10 billion rand, with 5.7 billion for economic infrastructure and 4.2 billion for social infrastructure. For 2023-2024 MTF period, we have a projected infrastructure budget of 9 billion rand, of which 5 billion is for economic infrastructure and 4 billion for social infrastructure. The annual breakdown is as follows. In the financial year 23-24, we are going to spend 3 billion rand on infrastructure. In the financial year 24-25, we are going to spend 2.7 billion, and 25-26, we are also going to spend 3 billion rand on social and economic infrastructure. Madam Speaker, our infrastructure priorities focus on building of schools, and I'm certain you've noted, last year, almost each and every month, there was a shortening of a new state-of-the-art school in the Northern Cape, because we are investing into improving the quality of public education. Health facilities, I opened a number of clinics last year, roads, housing, energy, water, and sanitation. Madam Speaker, this infrastructure portfolio will be further enhanced through the receipt of additional capital investment via the application and sourcing of additional funding to realize the objective of economic growth through infrastructure delivery. Madam Speaker, the opportunity regarding recycling of tires has not been exploited fully in our province. We've got lots of mines in the Northern Cape with end-of-life tires, which are just pegged there, and nothing is happening with those tires. So to address this problem, the province will be investing 15 million rand in establishing a tire granulator facility in Kimberley. These granules have a myriad of uses and could be the first step in creating a series of industries linked to the use of this tire crown. This project will be launched in May this year. Madam Speaker, in 2022, we signed a landmark memorandum of understanding with the Western Cape Provincial Government to develop a green hydrogen corridor stretching along the west coast of SADC. Plans are afoot as part of this endeavor to also sign a memorandum of understanding with the Eastern Cape Government. These initiatives support the collaborative effort between the Northern and the Western Cape to expand to Namibia and the Eastern Cape. This corridor will achieve energy resilience and security towards a Western SADC green hydrogen corridor. Green hydrogen is emerging as a global solution towards a just energy transition, which will also provide local benefits to our community, where it will contribute to attracting foreign direct investment, economic growth, job creation. This is part of the Energy Security Social Compact, which will include a diverse range of social partners. Through this, we will achieve a consensus on how to achieve energy security for our province and the country. Madam Speaker, nationally, a 600 billion investment pipeline has been identified and designated under the country's Green Hydrogen National Program. We are happy as the Northern Cape that additional projects were gazetted in December last year as part of the Green Hydrogen National Program. Of the 9 projects that were gazetted, costing in excess of 600 billion, 4 of them are projects which are in the Northern Cape. And that is not an accident. Ons sit hier in die warm son, as dit is so nie. It's not an accident. So we're a hub of renewable energy. Ons het 'n mooi see hier in Namakwa that stretches for 330 kilometers, basically be a virgin seafront. And we are starting now to exploit that, to derive economic benefits out of that. I know the DA agrees with me on that. So the 4 projects, yeah, very progressive premier, yes. Yeah. The 4 project, Honorable Speaker, it's Priska Power Reserve, Ubuntu Green Energy Hydrogen Project, Upilanga Solar and Green Hydrogen Park, and the Boho Bay Green Hydrogen Development Program. So the Boho Bay Green Hydrogen Project is actually the shining star amongst all these projects. And with the cooperation and the cooperative agreement that we had with Saul, this project will become a reality. These projects, Honorable Speaker, are aligned to the Provincial Growth and Development Plan 2040 and anchor the much-needed development towards achieving a growing and successful province. Since the launch of our green hydrogen strategy, we have made significant strides on the master plan for a green hydrogen special economic zone, which aims to support 40 gigawatts of electrolyzer capacity in 2050. Madam Speaker, our province expects to yield substantial investment going forward. The N14 industrial corridor has advanced very well to date, and one of the earliest breakthroughs is the Uppington Industrial Park, which will see phase 1 construction starting in the new financial year. Ons benodig 'n klap vir daai. So my predecessor is here. Sylvia Lucas, she started working on this project. Yeah. So I look smart now because it will be implemented during my term. Honorable Speaker, the Katu Industrial Park has received support from Anglo and Infrastructure South Africa to fast-track implementation. Madam Speaker and honorable members, our government is pleased to announce that the designation of the Namakwa Special Economic Zone is at an advanced stage. Approval has been granted by the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, and we are just awaiting cabinet approval. The DTIC and the province, we signed a 50-50 agreement wherein each committed 1 billion for cost sharing towards the top structure, and the province will further contribute 600 million rand for bulk infrastructure in our SEZ. Minister Patel phoned me that we need to launch this project now in April. Massive infrastructure investment in Namakwa that will change the face van district. As Honorable Member Magloa terugkom Namakwa land toe, hy sal verdwaal hier. Madam Speaker, despite lack of sufficient budget to service our provincial roads, we are committed to increase access to affordable and reliable transport infrastructure. The province has transferred 16 roads over to Central on the 2nd November 2022. This will help the province to focus on roads which are used mainly by local motorists. A pivotal development related to the latter is the fact that Sandra will also be opening an office here in the Northern Cape. This will help. Currently we are served by Central Western Cape. Die kantore van Central wat ons dien in die Noord-Kaap, hulle is in Kaapstad. So vir die eerste keer sal ons ons eie Central kantore hê in Kimberley. So daar kom met groot geleenthede vir ons besigheidsmense wat in konstruksie is. Van al die advertensies rondom paaie in die Noord-Kaap, hulle gaan uit in die Wes-Kaap. Nou vir die eerste keer die advertensies sal hier in die Noord-Kaap uitkom. En ons besigheidsmense sal goed geleenthede kry. Besigheidspersone, ja, besigheidspersone sal goed geleenthede kry. So the move to establish the office of Central in the Northern Cape will help to strengthen focus on our roads, which are critical to the success of our provincial and national economy. So for die eerste keer nou, kan ons aandag skenk op ons eie provinciale paaie, wat die meeste provinciale mense gebruik. Madam Speaker and honorable members, through the Operation Valazonke, the province completed 23,000 square meters of potholes. And this was achieved by utilizing internal and maintenance teams, and some work was outsourced, which created over 120 jobs. The province will continue with the contractor development program as part of developing small contractors to compete in the bigger market. In this regard, we are targeting an intake of 50 small contractors annually into the incubation program. We are also very pleased with the strides made by the Northern Cape Construction Company. The first intake of staff completed their training and are currently sharpening their skills through conducting practical work in Kimberley. Madam Speaker and honorable members, we have previously announced the initiative directed towards the development of our small towns, including our mining towns. We have rolled out the Township and Rural Economy Grant, and in pursuance of this goal, notably a number of our socio-economic partners are buying into this ideal as stated in our provincial growth and development plan. Honorable members, our province remains the future of the mining sector in the country. Hence, we had many interactions with many mining companies and have concluded various social compacts in the area of skills development, SMME support, and corporate social investment. Vedanta Mine pledged 21 billion rand investment in the Northern Cape. In phase 1 of the project, 6 billion rand investment created 2,700 permanent jobs in Aggeneys. Phase 2 was launched in August 2022 with a 7 billion rand investment estimated to create about 2,500 jobs during construction and 1,000 more jobs once in operation. This will also generate massive opportunities for SMMEs. The mine's capacity will be doubled in phase 2 with the construction of a smelter, which will create many downstream opportunities. Honorable members, in partnership with the provincial government, Vedanta will build an oncology treatment center in Springbok, which will strengthen support for cancer patients through referral pathways towards the tertiary hospital in Kimberley. That's what we expect from our mining companies. That is what we expect from them. As government, we don't have all the resources to respond to all the socio-economic challenges which are confronting this province. We've got a company here that have made a concrete commitment to build for us an oncology unit at the Namakwa Hospital. We are also working in partnership with Indumeni Expectra Consortium and healthcare professionals to provide innovative, creative, and cost-effective solutions at our health facilities. This includes infrastructure upgrades. These and many other ventures we have referred to account for the successive improvements and reduction of unemployment in the province. Madam Speaker, I have the pleasure to announce that the Vaal-Gamagara multi-billion bulk water supply phase 1 was completed. This bulk water supply scheme is supplying water to several towns in the province and mines in the mining corridor. The project also created over 179 jobs over the construction phase. The construction of the Vaal Arts Revitalization multi-year project will continue. And this work will include overnight reservoirs, installation of subphase drainage to rehabilitation, salination, and water logging of irrigated land. Furthermore, Honorable Speaker, the Department of Water and Sanitation is currently funding 42 projects in the province, and 7 were completed in the last financial year. Planning is also underway for 12 regional bulk infrastructure projects, which will focus on addressing bulk water and sanitation challenges at various municipalities. Importantly, national government has called for nominations for the Vaal Orange Catchment Management Agency, governing body. It is important that qualifying persons apply before the closing date, which is the 31st of March, 2023. Madam Speaker, the government's food security intervention includes the following: provision of grant support for infrastructure development of land reform, farms for improved and increased production, training and capacity building of farmers, technical and extension advisory services, support to households to address food insecure challenges in the province. In addition, we will continue to provide pre- and post-settlement support to land reform beneficiaries in the province. Honorable Speaker, government's first priority is to address the infrastructure challenges faced by all our towns, and as a starting point, we are focusing on Kimberley. In 2021, the province put in place a turnaround strategy for Kimberley, and 500 million was available to address disconcerting and urgent infrastructure challenges. In addition to this, National Treasury has now allocated 1.9 billion rand to Saul Municipality to improve water and sanitation services. This allocation, Honorable Speaker, forms part of the Regional Bulk Infrastructure Grant, which will support the Soplati Municipality's integrated bulk supply systems. Over the next 3 years, This will enable the municipality to realize their priorities in terms of the urgent refurbishment of old water supply infrastructure that is in a poor state of repairs. Honorable Speaker, Soplaki University had 3,693 students who registered for 2022. From the revised enrollment plan for 2023 to 2025, the institutional intention is to grow their student population in natural and applied sciences and economic and management sciences. So we need to encourage our children to apply for these courses because there's an over-application at Soplaki for education. Children are wanting to be teachers, nothing wrong with that, but children need to diversify their skills. For the 2023 academic year, a total of 28,454 applications were received by Soplaki University for both undergraduate and postgraduate studies. This is an increase of just 9,000 against applications received for 2022. In terms of the infrastructure, the university's total spend on infrastructure development since its inception in 2013 accounts to 2.2 billion. Of this, 350 million was spent in 2022. Can we give our government a hand of applause for this major investment at Soplaki University? That is becoming a state-of-the-art, modern university, and is becoming popular amongst young people. Close to 30,000 applications that they received for this academic year, against 9,000 applications that they received last year. It's becoming very popular amongst young people. So, stylish young people. On said young men met gas. Hulle gaan Soplaki University toe. Young men met gas. Hulle wil by die universiteit wees. Honorable Speaker, through the unemployed agriculture graduate program, the province is placing unemployed agricultural graduates in various commercial enterprises across the province for 2 years. The next intake will be in 2023-2024 with about 80 graduates to be placed. If you know of any young person who's got a degree in agriculture, just inform us. They will be placed because we're an agricultural province. Honorable Speaker, we are pushing full steam with the insourcing. 7 departments have already insourced cleaners, and by the end of the financial year, we will be done with the insourcing of security services in the Treasury, Premier's Office, Transport, Safety and Liaison, and Agriculture, Environmental Affairs, Rural Development, and Land Reform. As I have mentioned in the SOPA 2022, that the Department of Transport, Safety, and Liaison will create a directorate in their organizational structure that will take full responsibility and accountability of insourced security services. So, by the end of this financial year, 5 departments would have insourced security services, which is a major achievement for our province. Madam Speaker, through the Premier's Bursary Fund, we continue to support students to advance the skills in the province. Bursary allocations for 2024-2025 amounts to 14.9 million. Our young people continue to benefit from the financial assistance from various funders to further their studies at the institutions of higher learning. We can report that a total of 3,866 students benefited from NSFAS funding and other bursaries. Ek dink almal is bewus van die feit that it's not only children of rich families who are graduating nowadays. Kinders van plakkerskampe graduate nowadays. Plakkerskamp, ja. Kinders wat in plakkers groot geraak het. They graduate nowadays, they become doctors. They become engineers. And all of that is because of the opportunities which the government is creating. In 1993, just a digression, we had about 150,000 students in South African universities, 1993. Now, we've got about 1.1 million students in South African universities, and about 70% of them are fully funded by government. Fully funded by government. Government takes you through primary school, secondary school, and here you work course by the school. Here you book for need. If you pass well, government takes you to university. As je daar kom, je geeft je playplek, je koopt boeken, je koopt je een laptop, en je krijgt stipend op het einde van de maand. Where have you ever seen something like that? The student population have increased to 1.1 million from 150. From 150,000 in 1993. So that's a major breakthrough. Honorable Speaker, the Just Energy Transition Investment Plan was announced by our President, Cyril Ramaphosa, at COP27, which outlined the investment requirements towards South Africa decarbonizing commitment and promote sustainable development in our vulnerable communities. One of the new policy developments in the Northern Cape is the Northern Cape Green Hydrogen Strategy, which is centered on driving economic growth and mitigating climate change towards a just transition. Honorable Speaker, since 2019, the turnaround time on environment impact assessment, what we call as EIAs in the province, improved from 40% to 85%. The commitment is to reach 100% by 2023-2024. The province has developed a renewable energy strategy that focuses on rooftop solar PV installations. The strategy seeks to address the limited participation of small, medium, and micro-scale enterprises in the renewable energy value chain. The objective is to assist the SMMEs in entering into a power purchase agreement with the government and private sector to acquire loan funding from banks to procure the PV system. 51 SMMEs received PV green card training. The Northern Cape Solar Energy Business Incubator was also established, and we will launch it in April 2023. Madam Speaker, Northern Cape has been plagued by a number of natural disasters such as floods, droughts, and sinkholes, amongst others. The effects of climate change have been felt very close to home. I am reminded of the farm workers who tragically passed away, reportedly due to heat stroke and a severe drought, where more than half of the farms in Pixlika-Seme district have been impacted for almost a decade. The raging fires in and around Kimberley and the flooded areas of the lower Orange River, these natural disasters threaten the provincial livestock and crop industries. I want to thank the gift of the givers for the aid to areas affected by floods and drought in the Northern Cape. Special reference can be made to the increased flow in the Harib River, cutting off communities from areas around Kemus. Communities in that area have been assisted with the aid in the form of food and bottled water, the drilling of 238 boreholes, and contributing to food security by providing fodder. The JET investment plan has committed 1.6 billion over the next 5 years to pilot skills development zones, what we call as SDZ, in Mpumalanga, the Eastern Cape, and the Northern Cape. This will boost our efforts to create the much-needed job opportunities, and particularly for the young people of the Northern Cape. Honorable Speaker, a total of 13,574 grade 12 candidates wrote all subjects in the 2022 National Senior Certificate examinations. 10,072 candidates successfully completed their final examination, bringing the overall pass rate in the province to 74.2%, which represents a 2.8 percentage increase. This reflects the second highest total of grade 12s for this administration. These results also marked an increase of candidates that received bachelor degree entrances. Honorable Speaker, we remain committed in achieving an 80% matric pass rate, and central to this is to strengthen student support and teacher development. Linked to this is the urgent need to strengthen our intake capacity for early childhood development, as about 75% of our children in the province do not have access to ECDs. ECDs should be effective centers for learning, and the Department of Education must, within the next 2 weeks, provide me with a plan on how to achieve this. I think we have to increase our catchment with regard to ECDs. It's an indictment on all of us that 75% of the children of the Northern Cape don't have access to ECDs. Serious indictment. And scientists will tell you that the most critical time for cognitive development of the child is the first 4,000 days. That's the most critical stage for cognitive development of a child, first 4,000 days. So if 75% of our children don't have access to ECDs, that's a serious indictment, and all of us, and that's something that needs our urgent attention. It is important for us to join hands in improving the education system and make partnerships a priority to achieve this. We collaborated with the following partners in the education system, namely a Better Africa and Glabolec Accoin. Ladies and gentlemen, a total of 13,574 matric candidates wrote all subjects in the 2022 NSC examination, and 10,072 candidates successfully completed their final examination. And this thing is being repeated, that our overall percentage standing at 74.2%. So this percentage, as I have mentioned, is the second highest total in terms of the numbers of matriculants that have passed matric. Noteworthy is the fact that 9 schools in the province have obtained a 100% pass rate. Out of the 13,574 full-time candidates, about 30.8% received bachelor degree university entrance. That is an increase. And 26.9% received diploma entrances, and 16.5% received certificate increases. To ensure that textbooks are delivered on time, the province has the textbook procurement model to support and coordinate the timeous delivery of textbooks. Honorable Speaker, in the past 9 months, no COVID-related deaths have been reported. The province has maintained its level 4 vaccination program success rate amongst all 9 provinces. Our goal for this year, which is 2023-2024 financial year, is to attain ideal facility status for at least 50% of all our sites. This will ensure that we are prepared for the launch of the National Health Insurance in 2026. National Health Insurance is a reality. It will happen. Our relationship with Anglo-America and Right to Care will facilitate this objective's realization. Honorable Speaker, for the 2022-2023 fiscal year, the Northern Cape has appointed 6,958 staff members, comprising contracts, temporary employees, and permanent employees. And in the main, these were nurses and doctors. I'm just coming from the hospital here in Calvinia. Our clinical capacity has been improved there. That is the reason why such a hospital can operate 24/7. Because the clinical capacity, doctors and nurses, that capacity have been improved. And that's part and parcel of the number of people that we have appointed as the provincial government. We have increased medication availability to stabilize at an average of 85% across all our facilities. The procurement of 3 new delivery vehicles for 2.1 million has helped to ensure that there is improved supply of medication. Ek is seker deel van julle wat na publieke hospitale en klinieke gaan. You know this thing of going there and you look for a Panado, the hospital or the clinic does not have a Panado, is something of the past now. Ek is seker, you know that. Something of the past. To expand the present pool of available vehicles and replace aging vehicles, we are purchasing ambulances. Out of the 54 ambulances anticipated, we are launching 40 new ambulances, some of which have off-road capabilities. You must go and see the beautiful ambulances that we just launched now. Can we get a nice round of applause for them? We just launched those ambulances this morning, 14 of them dedicated to the Namakwa region. We will do rehabilitation outreach as part of resetting of the health systems to strengthen our districts. The waiting time for wheelchairs for those in need has decreased. We have distributed last year alone 1,531 wheelchairs. The Northern Cape has experienced attrition of more than 5% of people living with HIV on antiretroviral. However, with the ease and lifting of lockdown regulations in 2022, an increase in retention of people living with HIV who are on antiretroviral treatment, which means there's an increase of people who are taking their medication. That guarantees them a long, healthy life. Long, healthy life. That's the capacity which our clinics are currently dispensing. Honorable Speaker, the burden of non-communicable diseases such as diabetes and hypertension has increased. Our number of patients who are now treated for these conditions are 4,398 for diabetes and 6,186 for hypertension in 2022-2023, which is an increase from 900 and 1,781, showing an increase of 3,498 and 4,405 respectively. So there's massive increase of hypertension and diabetes. And hypertension amongst men. Maybe one of our researchers must investigate that. Why is it that there's more men with hypertension? Honorable Speaker, the Northern Cape is amongst the highest proportion of households that experience hunger. The 10% increase in food insecure households is concerning and requires a multi-sectoral approach. More than half of the households with young children that experienced hunger were in urban areas. The 350 social relief of distress, which we call as the SRD grant, has become a lifeline for many people who lost their source of income during COVID-19 pandemic restrictions. Before COVID-19, provincial government funded 143 non-profit organizations serving 33,000 individuals at 26.6 million annually. Through COVID-19, the food security program identified 88 unserved areas and invested 10 million rand. There is allocation to fund the establishment of additional 70 new nutrition centers during 2022-2023 financial year. In the process, we created 177 work opportunities, demonstrating the resilience we had endured with the difficult times of COVID. The provincial government therefore continues to work together with different stakeholders, government and non-government organizations, and civil society to address food insecurity. As a province, we will continue to support food insecure households. We will ramp up our efforts to support subsistence farmers with garden starter packs, garden equipment in all 5 districts for own food production. Honorable Speaker, domestic violence continues to be a deadly crime, a social menace, and a costly public health and economic problem. Most victims are women and children. The brutal killing of our women and children is completely unacceptable. This atrocious behavior shows a need to move from policy to action and provide a stronger societal focus on prevention and early intervention to support women and children against this scourge. Last year, we convened a successful provincial GBVF summit that was attended by more than 300 participants, drawn from all sectors of society. Working with our communities, the police, we will prioritize the GBVF hotspots, which include Galeshiwe, Kimberley, Rodepan, Kagiso, and Uppington. The province has completed its District 1 plans for the 5 districts, and these are in the process of being published for public participation. We encourage communities to participate in these engagements. Once the 1 plans are finalized and launched, by the end of 2023, it will be ready for full implementation. It is also expected that a DDM monitoring and evaluation plans would be finalized by the end of June 2023. Honorable Speaker, we have already started with the rationalization of provincial public entities and trust utilizing internal capacity across provincial government to drive the respective processes. All preliminary work, which is legal, finance, financial, and human resource, pertaining to rationalization of provincial public entities will be finalized by the end of March this year, followed by full implementation. The 2 regulatory entities in the province, which are the Liquor Board and the Gambling Board, will also be merged by the end of the year. One of the key pillars of the 6th administration is good governance. Thus, Operation Clean Audit was driven from the center to assist and support departments to obtain improved audit outcomes in 2022-2023 financial year. This resulted in the province attaining improved audit outcomes, with 4 departments attaining clean audits. Those 4 departments are the Office of the Premier, Department of Social Development, Provincial Treasury, and Sports, Arts and Culture. The province, Alamuta and the club, correct. Yeah, the office of the Premier, Alamuta and the club. The provincial government departments have all migrated out of disclaimers. We don't have disclaimers in the provincial government. This coordinated approach to improve audit outcomes in the Northern Cape provincial government will be intensified in the 2023-2024 financial year to ensure that we continue to achieve the objectives of 100% clean audits across the provincial departments. The state of local government, Honorable Speaker, remains a concern. Thus, the Office of the Premier expanded the scope of Operation Clean Audit to include our municipalities. In this regard, we are proud to announce that all municipalities in our province managed to submit their financial statements to the Office of the Auditor General on time in terms of the MFMA for the 2021-2022 financial year. The Local Government Anti-Corruption Forum was launched with all hands on the deck to deal with corruption cases at municipal level. Honorable Speaker, the province concluded a memorandum of understanding with the Office of the Public Protector to strengthen cooperation in combating and eradicating fraud, corruption, maladministration, and malpractice in the Northern Cape. We are confident that this intervention will yield the required results. Ladies and gentlemen, last year, we proclaimed that we were at the midterm of the sixth administration. We have now entered the twilight of the current term of governance. We are thus focusing on consolidating our work to build a modern, growing, and successful province. We have stated in 2019 what constitutes the priorities of this sixth administration. Hence the question, what did we present here today? We presented figures that attest to the fact that we are reducing unemployment with lowest official unemployment in the country. We also presented figures to demonstrate that we are growing the economy. We presented projects that show that, together with our partners, we are succeeding in modernizing our province through massive investment in broadband infrastructure, e-health, and education. We presented figures that demonstrate increased spending and investment in both social and economic infrastructure. What we presented here today is information that demonstrates that there is sustained improvement in grade 12 outcomes, both quantitatively and qualitatively. In this SOPA, we demonstrated that there is increased training opportunities for young people of the Northern Cape. We also demonstrated the fact that there is maturing of social compacting with labor and business community. We also put it to this august house that there is intensification of the fight against corruption. It is for everyone to see that there are significant improvements in the audit outcomes. We also demonstrated to this house that measures are in place to intensify our fight against gender-based violence and femicide. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, this SOPA is an accurate reflection of the work done by this sixth provincial administration in the past few years, and a true reflection of our commitment for a year ahead of us. Madam Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, I am certain that with our collective resolve and determination, we will, as a province, overcome our current difficulties and challenges with the necessary resilience and hard work. In this regard, Madam Speaker, I think it entirely appropriate that I close this address with the life-changing experience of our own homegrown gift to the world, our operative soprano, Priti Yende. Priti Yende was born in Mpumalanga, and with hard work and perseverance, she is now a regular and a globally much sought after leading lady by opera houses globally. About a decade ago, Yende made her debut at the New York Metropolitan Opera House. The lead soprano fell ill, and Yende was given that role. Because the lead soprano fell in, Yende was given the role to be the lead soprano. She just had a week to practice all the songs. During the opening night, Yende proceeded down the stairs to deliver her debut performance to New York's most discerning classical music audiences. And she suddenly tripped and fell. A moment later, Yende got up, dusted herself off, and sang her heart out. At the conclusion, she received a rapturous standing ovation, which is unprecedented for a first performance. Ladies and gentlemen, I share this incident with you with unbridled pride. You see, we South Africans are made of a stronger stuff. And I am confident that when we act in unity behind a common purpose or cause, we will achieve whatever we set out to do. If Priti Yende could mesmerize the world after a dramatic fall, so can we, both as the province and as a country, united in faith, hope, and resilience. Honorable Speaker, let me then thank all my colleagues, the MECs and all the MPLs for their continued support. When I was doing development economics, the professor was the lecturer, told us that there is no capitalism without ownership and without innovation and without competition. But he also used to tell us that there is no democracy without a vibrant opposition and competition. He says if there's no vibrant opposition and competition, it is democracy. It's not democracy, it's a democracy. So we appreciate the work that the opposition is doing, and we must give them a nice round of applause. In order for us to have a vibrant democracy in this country. I also want to thank the Director General of the province and his army of more than 26,000 public servants for their hard work and sometimes working under extremely challenging circumstances. Let me also express my gratitude to my beautiful wife for an unwavering support that she's always combat ready to give to me. I'm sure you guys can see she's beautiful. There she is. My mom, siblings, and children will always serve as my energizer, and I want to thank them for that. To all the Northern Capers who are gathered here and those who are watching this program on TV and social media platform, let's push this thing and make it work for our common prosperity. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Premier.